Hello, everybody. Well, I was planning on talking about the NRA or the the Bill of Rights of our Second Amendments or concealed weapon permit. I was planning on talking about all those, but with the news media talking about what happened in Dallas, it's an unfortunate thing. I just changed it at the last minute, and so just kind of bear with me. Just want to have a positive speech. Um, but on that note, what I'm going to talk about is, who wants to live on Mars? That is an interesting topic. Uh, would I want to live on Mars? Probably not, but I know there's some people out there that definitely would. They would want a challenge to live on that planet. Just kind of, excuse me. Mars is actually the fourth planet from the Sun. Also, it is known as the Roman god of war, according to Wikipedia. Um, just watched some videos not too long ago on Mars itself, um, and it's talking about PBS is talking about Mars is not a dead planet. It's actually has an atmosphere, and we could live on Mars if the conditions were right. And also, our the gravity pull on that planet is 1/3 of what it is on Earth. Also, I thought it was kind of interesting that there is 687 days in a year for Mars versus our 365, according to space.com. So I thought that was kind of interesting. A lot of my information came from Mars1.com. They actually gave a lot of information on their venture. They want to put a colony on Mars, and they actually had a roadmap. In 2011, they had that Mars One was founded. It's a nonprofit organization, and what they were doing is looking for recruits or applicants to travel to Mars. And what some of the experience they're looking for is obviously medical, uh, flying, different degrees. So, and they weren't just taking the young; they were actually taking some uh, older, call them older folks, kind of like us, above 30. They're looking for because they have the experience and the knowledge that some of the younger people have, so they can teach them. So in 2013, they actually selected uh, some of these groups. Of course, their names they're not posted. They're keeping them anonymous so people won't bug them. Next year, 2017, is coming up. They're actually going to be training in some remote locations, in some deserts, kind of uh, just like on Mars, it's basically a big desert. So they're going to be training them on how to repair, how to set up equipment, and not just that, they want to see how they work alone, away from civilization, because that's a big deal. There's a lot of us interact one on one, not just in our groups but outside of our groups. So they need to see how they will act. So would they be able to survive and able to communicate and function um, outside of civilization? Big cities, small cities. Basically you got three other people in your group that you have to depend on. So it's a big deal. So just kind of reading on some of the information um, on their training is pretty interesting. And in 2020, coming up in a few years down the road, they're going to be sending out a rover to land on the planet. Not the one that NASA sent out, but their own, to find the best location to set up these pods or units, life support systems, to survive. And not just that, they're going to be sending some satellites to fly around the planet to communicate back to Earth on the conditions. And in 2024, they're going to be sending the pods to the planet, and they're going to have 2 living pods or units, 2 life support units, and that's basically keeping the crew alive, and a supply unit, and another rover unit to go to help put these pods together and connect them. And in just before the crew lands in 2025, they're going to test everything, make sure there's an atmosphere inside the units. Obviously breathable air, but everything functions like they need to before the astronaut get there. Because once they're there, they're there. It's a one flight. That's it. There's no coming back home. There's no calling for help. You have to depend on your crew when you get there, whenever you land on that Mars planet. You have to depend on each other and be able to function and be able to grow your own food and farm your own water. Be able to produce your own water there. Obviously, to engineer new technology that we don't have on Earth that will benefit us later on down the road. So I thought it was very, very interesting because, not only that, the first crew that gets there and their names will be known forever, for infinity, basically, that they're the first humans on Mars to colonize it. There's going to be groups every 2 years going to be landing on that planet to colonize it. So, and it's just not getting, it's not just flying to new planet to say, hey, look at me. It's actually a new frontier, new technologies are out there. There is no telling what's on Mars. Obviously, there's a lot of ore that's on that planet, but what else is on that planet that could help us on Earth? But before I start getting any more detail, because I'm going to use this part of my persuasive speech at the end of the semester. I just don't want to get into too much because I almost did. But again, I think it's a great opportunity that for humans to actually travel through space. 6 months in space. It's a great opportunity for some of these astronauts to pass on their knowledge to their kids and to help civilization grow. And we'll probably end up learning a lot from them that land on Mars, because they have to depend on each other and not use all the resources that's on that planet. So, but again, I'm going to save that to the final semester on the persuasive speech, why we need to go to Mars and what benefits can help us. And again, there's always pros and cons to each situation. So I'm just going to focus on the positive things mostly. So anyways, I'll talk to you more on my persuasive speech later. Thanks.